OG Lee in the house once again, once again. Thank goodness, thank goodness. Amber Guyger. Does that name ring a bell? This is the Dallas police officer who killed the brother Botham Jean. And I got onto this story because the brother had graduated, I think, a year before. He graduated from an Arkansas university, Harding University in Searcy, Arkansas. He then moved to Dallas to get his first job. And he was so happy, his family said he got his first job, and he was just starting to live his life in America. He's not from America initially, he's from the islands. And so it's really ironic too that he leaves to come to America for a better life and of course gets killed by this police officer, Amber Guyger. The thing I thought from the very first time I heard this and heard that she had entered a wrong apartment, at first I thought maybe the apartment was like right next to hers or something like that. But it was even on the wrong floor, a different floor. And so as soon as I heard that, I said, wow, that seems real weird of an explanation to this thing. And why did I think that? I served in two different branches of the military. And I even went through two different basic trainings. And each basic training taught one thing first. And that is, because remember, the military is about soldiering. So ultimately you could be on the battlefield. So one of the main things that they taught you was attention to detail. Attention to detail. Because if you weren't attentive to detail, your ass could get killed right quick. On a battlefield, if you weren't attentive to detail, you step on a landmine, right? Anything could happen. You had to be very attentive to detail. I can remember when we were out on our maneuvers practicing, how we would practice stuff like light discipline. And the only thing that you would see on were these small red lights. I mean, if you would cut on your flashlight, if you strike a lighter, any kind of light, I mean, it would go crazy. Nobody even thought to do it because anything out of that, realm of practicing that light discipline with just these little red lights, because you didn't want the enemy to know where you were. Light discipline, all kinds of disciplines they taught us, but the idea was attention to detail. So when I first heard this and heard the circumstances, I said, what the hell? This is a police officer. Now, they go through, I guess, 12, maybe, 14 weeks of training to be a police officer. And I'm sure somewhere along the line, probably as in the military in basic training, probably right up front, they said one of your main jobs is to be attentive to detail. So I always thought, now, how did she, first of all, and I'm not sure, to be honest, because I didn't read it, the case, because I thought it was crazy right from the jump. So I don't know if she was in an elevator or if she walked up. Either way, now they've discovered that she was exchanging racy texts to her boyfriend. To say that, how could you be real sleepy and burnt out if you exchanging racy texts about sex and this kind of thing? She was sexting. So she's not tired enough when she gets off that she can't be doing this sexting with her boyfriend. But she's tired to the point where she don't know where her apartment is. So let's say she was in the elevator. I don't know. Let's say she was in the stairs. Again, I don't get it either way. You go up to the elevator. It stops on the wrong floor. You're not paying attention. You step out. Now, that's happened to me several times. But the minute I step out, oh shit. And I usually step back in real quick because I realize this is not my floor. There's something different about it. Your mind does that just from doing something over and over again. So I looked at Amber and I said, there's a police officer. They didn't initially realize it, so they got all the way out. Then you start walking around. You don't notice anything different? So that means that if I were to go up to that place, everything on her floor, everything on the floor she got off on looks exactly the same. If not, any police officer worth their salt should have noticed that right away. Any person would have noticed that right away. But let's give her that. Now, she goes to her apartment. The door is open. Immediately, knowing that I locked my door, I'm going to say, oh shit, somebody is in my apartment. Now, if I'm a police officer, shit, I'm gung-ho. I got my pistol, so I'm going to say, shit, I'm going on in and find out what's going on. So I decided to go in. The second that I step in the apartment, if you're buying it all the way up to this point, the second that I step in the apartment, now we know his apartment and her apartment are not going to be the same. They're not going to be. The decor, all of this different kind of shit, right? So she steps in the apartment, a police officer, someone taught to pay attention to detail. You don't notice that you're in the wrong apartment? Immediately, what I would do is say, oh, damn, no wonder the door's open. Shit, I'm in the wrong apartment. And then I'm going to start walking away thinking, oh, maybe nobody even noticed I opened their door. If they come to the door, I'm going to say, oh, man, my bad. I thought I was in my apartment. And they're going to give me a crazy look like, yeah, right. Especially if it happens to be a white person and I'm black. They're going to look at me like, yeah, right. You were getting ready to come in, motherfucker, probably, and heard me coming or something. Anyway, they ain't going to buy that shit. So, but let's buy it with her to this point. She opens the door, takes a step in, still does not notice that she is in another apartment. This is why I haven't followed this story in depth, because I never ever believed that a police officer, someone who is taught to pay attention to detail, could make a blunder like this, right? If you're a police officer, you have to realize, you're arresting all kinds of people, most of them bad, right? Sometimes drunk, under the influence. You have to be paying very close attention. Somebody might pull something out on you. You don't know what can happen. You are taught to pay attention to detail. So she goes in the apartment, still take a 2, 3, 4 step entry. You still don't realize you're in your wrong apartment? Oh my, this is a slap in the face to anybody's intelligence. You are taught to be attentive to detail. How in the hell do you not realize that you are in the wrong apartment? Unbelievable. This is where this case is supposed to stop. Right here and put that motherfucker's ass in jail. In prison. So she goes on. Botham shows up. Bottom line, she kills him for him being an intruder in her apartment. Man, this lady and this man were having some kind of situation going on, jungle fever, I don't know what, but it wasn't that she went into an apartment on the wrong floor and ended up shooting this black man because she thought he was an intruder in her apartment. How are you going to insult people's intelligence like that? You can fool some people sometime, but you can't fool all the people all the time. This is a case of jungle fever. This is a case of jungle fever. Jungle fever. She gonna go in the wrong apartment and kill somebody. This is a case of rejection, man. That brother said, look, I don't want no more to do with your crazy ass. That's the bottom line. I don't want no more to do with your crazy ass. I'm out of this shit. And she didn't like that rejection. And she knew there's a good chance that I could kill this nigga and get away with it. Huh? And that's what she did. She executed him like so many cops do to black people. That's the bottom line. How in the hell a police officer trained to pay attention to detail, dealing with all of this shit? She's in the big city of Dallas. You dealing with black people, white people, Hispanics, anybody liable to go off like a fucking loose cannon at any minute. And you don't pay attention to detail? You're that tired? How many of us out here then came home on drugs, alcohol, and still made it home to your apartment? Huh? Never ever went left when you should have went right. Never ever went up when you should have went down. Never ever curved when you should have went straight. And this lady is just saying, just from a normal, even if she did a fucking overtime, a normal shift, you come home, you're that tired. I'm going to get off on the wrong floor. Moreover, I'm going to go to the wrong apartment. The door is open. I'm going to walk in the wrong apartment. I still don't notice anything wrong. The biggest problem is some people believe this and will stand behind her in her telling us all this bullshit. This is unbelievable, the way they would insult someone's intelligence. Man, I sure hope that they don't let this lady off, man, because this would be such another slap in Black America's face. And you talking about something that would be putting salt in a wound that's just gaping. This is nothing more than bullshit and an execution. I hope, I'm going to be watching this case, I hope that they end up putting this lady in prison, this police officer in prison for committing an egregious murder like she did. This was nothing more than a case of jungle fever, baby. This is OG Lee, and I'll see you again soon.